Hey everyone, it's Ashley with Covering the Bases, and today we're doing an interview with the owner and operator of Red Shed, Trent Logan. Trent, let's go a little bit about your background.
So growing up, I obviously played baseball as a kid. Loved it. It was my first love, and started training with Bob Baseball School at the age of 15. That's when I became an instructor. Obviously, had a lot of years of lessons before then. And going into college, I ended up not playing college baseball. Had some opportunities for small schools, and ultimately went to Division I, University of Toledo, and secured my engineering degree with the end goal of getting back into coaching in some way, shape, or form in the future.
What made you want to start Red Shed rather than just becoming a coach somewhere?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to coach some high school teams, some travel teams, ran the gamut on that, and I still miss the ability to take a swing and develop it from the ground up. Coaching it was a lot of fun. I loved to compete, but I also love to build something. That's my engineering coming out of me. I love to take something, build it, and see the end result, and doing that across the entire region versus one team. So that was how Red Shed came about. I thought I could impact more kids that way and actually build a finished product.
When we're talking about, this is obviously a small business for you, this isn't your end all be all, you have another job. What has been the biggest hurdles you've had to overcome as a small business?
Sure, yeah, it's funny that we talk about that right now during this coronavirus time, 2020. There's been a lot of hurdles, and every day is a new hurdle, and it's all about how do you overcome it. The biggest hurdles for me, stem from just understanding grassroots of building a business. I'm not a business major. I had a lot to learn. I had a lot of good mentors along the way. That was the early problem. The next problem, as we're building that business, was we went on a waiting list for almost 3 years, and finding quality instructors is a challenge, and we're not willing to hire anybody. So, or just anybody. It's got to be the right person. It's got to fit our end goal vision. So that's been a challenge. We just decided the waiting list was our best bet, and there's a lot of folks that we felt really bad for that wanted to work that we couldn't work with. So that was another one of the biggest challenges. The next biggest challenge was building a building. I mean, we had a tough time building this building. We were way behind schedule. Our contractor went bankrupt in the middle of it, and we were left with a big hole and a waiting list, and that made things even more challenging. And then you go into this year, and it's the coronavirus, and the coronavirus for us is going to impact us for the next 2 years, because we've lost 2 instructors early, we've lost their backfills, and that puts us back onto a waiting list. So hopefully in the next 2 years we can figure out how to alleviate that waiting list again and get back to business as normal.
Now you said, hiring quality instructors. As of now, how many instructors does Red Shed have? If people are interested, they're just finishing out their high school career, aren't going to go to college, or are in college, what qualifications are you looking for as an instructor, and if so, how can they apply to possibly come out?
Sure, yeah. We've got 10 instructors right now total, and really what we look for in instructors is a student of the game and somebody who's self-motivated and communicates effectively. And student of the game meaning having an open mind, because we have the Red Shed way, and we feel like it's the best way, and that's probably what sets us apart from other local schools, is we all teach the same way in terms of what our core mechanics need to look like. So when we look for new hires, it's, hey, are you willing to listen to us and kind of teach our way? Obviously we value what you're going to bring to the table as well, but I think we have a nice composite of 10 different instructors out here that we've settled on the best way to hit a baseball and softball and the best way to do things, and that's what sets us apart. If somebody is interested, obviously prior experience training in either mechanic training, baseball, softball, strength training, how the body moves, things like that, it's always a plus. Really just a passion for the game. Every one of our instructors does this as a hobby, and it's because they love the game, and that's why our lessons are so high energy. They can always apply at www.redshedbaseball.com. Send us a resume, contact us on there, or via Facebook. That's the best way to do it. We're always looking for quality instructors.
With that being said, is that the same way people need to go about contacting you about coming in for lessons?
Yep, that's the best way to contact us. We're a small business, as Ashley already alluded to, so phone calls typically. I'm the guy who answers the phone, and it's my cell phone. And this time of the year especially, we're way behind on getting back to people on phones. Lead times and callbacks are typically a week to 2 weeks this time of the year because, as you alluded to, this is a hobby. I have a full-time job during the day, do this at night, plus a family. Trying to balance that work-life balance is tricky. So our best way, I've got a few people watching social media on Facebook. That's the best, absolute best way to get a hold of us. And then email is the second best.
What all services does Red Shed offer that sets them apart from, say, Bob Harris? Because I know I went to Bob Harris too when I was in high school. That was the only place around, really, at that time.
Sure.
So what sets this place apart from Bob Harris's school?
Yeah, so we offer one-on-one private lessons, and those are 55 minutes long. We also offer an 85-minute option for those kids who want to come for an hour and a half, or maybe want to split it with their sibling, or split it in terms of skills. So maybe 45 minutes hitting, 45 minutes pitching, throwing, all that. We also offer an online academy. So we were the first in our area, in the large area, to have an online academy, and we had this pre-coronavirus. We had this about a year and a half ago. The gentleman, Kyle, who's one of our instructors, he's the partner out here now because he runs the online academy from South Carolina. So that's an option. Not too many people are offering that around here, and nobody was pre-coronavirus. So that's something that sets us apart. We also do group sessions. We do group team clinics. We travel to teams. Those are quoted on a case-by-case basis. And we also do teams in here in our facility, but those are very limited and typically start sometime in the fall and then go all the way through spring. So those are the services we provide. In terms of what sets us apart, the biggest thing for me that sets us apart is when you come into our school compared to any other school, you're going to have a positive experience. We're going to treat everybody like family, and we're going to have a lot of energy doing it. And that's probably coupled with the fact that we're all so young out here. I'm one of the older guys at 31 years old, and we can relate to the children and the players and carry that high level of energy going forward with their lesson. So that's the biggest difference. We also have a ton of technology out here that we've implemented using, and that's all just incorporated into our daily lesson costs. So we keep investing into the business to invest into the children. And again, we do it as a hobby. So we really enjoy it as coaches, and we try to mimic that to our players.
Now, I'm an instructor out here, you're an instructor out here, plus, the other millions of instructors we have, luckily. What are some of the biggest reasons or issues that you seem to have with players coming in, about their swing? What seems to be the most common issue that you have that you guys have to break?
The most common issue is a kid that comes in after playing 3 to 5 years of ball and having no prior experience or instruction, and kind of just learning themselves, or maybe their coach who maybe was a parent or maybe played back in the 80s and 90s taught them their way, and the game's constantly evolving. That's what I love about it. I learn every day from either the instructors, online, different resources. That's what keeps it interesting. So breaking those bad habits, and typically, a lot of the biggest bad habits that we see early on right now, bat drag is number one. We see everybody bat dragging. So we have to fix that a lot. And then just rotation and balance and getting your hips involved in the swing is another one that a lot of people are struggling with, players, and we have to constantly break that. And the longer that they practice those bad habits, the harder it is. My son started out here taking lessons when he was 5, and he started with a clean slate, and he was easy to work with, and I don't even work with him, so I let him work with our instructors. But the earlier they get in, the better, and learn the right way. Early on, we don't have to break any bad habits.
Now, I noticed when I was working out here, if I would work with boys, there was a lot of times that they would think that, hey, you're a softball player, you don't know the game of baseball, you don't understand there's a difference.
Sure.
How big of a difference is the swing from baseball to softball?
Swing-wise, it's very similar. We've went round and round with some of the nation's biggest hitting coaches and smartest minds in the game of hitting, and really the baseball and softball swing, when you're looking at rotational hitting and the guys, if you watch TV, the guys who make the money in terms of driving in runs and hitting doubles, and the girls who do the same thing. We're talking the Sierra Romeros, the Crystal Bustos, those girls who are just smashing the softball. They're hitting the same way as baseball players. And I made a comment last week to another coach. I said, if enough softball players started to hit like baseball, the ESPN world, everybody be watching softball, because you're talking hitting home runs, hitting doubles, and people want to watch offense, and that's kind of where the game's going. You know, you're seeing a lot of these girls that are starting to train to hit like baseball players. And yeah, maybe their swing is definitely a little shorter, a little bit more compact, the game's more compact. And there's definitely strategy differences in baseball and softball, but in terms of swing, they're very similar with just minute differences.
Now, is there any tips that you might give out to players who are, you know, struggling, especially our seniors who are missing out on their senior year? Some are all luckily enough going to college, some playing travel ball. You know, is there any words of wisdom, any tidbits you want to give them to, you know, kind of push them, don't let them give up on everything that's going on?
Sure. Yeah, I would tell them just keep their head up. You know, baseball luckily is one of the toughest games mentally. It's you know, you fail 70% of the time and you're successful. So just be mentally strong. You know, find out what makes you happy. If it's still playing in a rec league, great. If you want to go play, you know, some intramural after, you know, there's all kinds of adult leagues out there. If you just want to give back, you know, if you spent your whole life training and you want to give back, then figure out a way to coach. And, you know, that fills a void for a lot of people. You know, baseball and softball people are weird in terms of these people really, it's a true passion and it goes deep. And when there's no more, right? We see this with our instructors. We just lost one to Cleveland, and he's still on board, but he doesn't get to train as much. But when you hang the cleats up from playing, you start coaching. And when you hang the cleats up from coaching, within days you miss it. And he's already messaged me talking about how much he misses it. So I would just look for those areas to give back to the younger generation and help drive the game of baseball and softball to newer levels.
Awesome. Now, before we end today, would you be willing to do a tour, just kind of show everybody what it looks like out here?
Sure.
To give them an idea?
All right, so this is our facility. When you walk in the door, you're going to walk in and you're going to see two full-length cages here. These are 70 foot long, so we can throw full distance for high school and college pitching. We're going to walk in. You're going to notice we've got a backspin tee. We got a few of those. We're big fans of them. Actually, I know the developer on those. So you can see those. We've got our impact bag here. We've got our TV on the wall, and that we use for swing analysis. So we do a lot of swing analysis with the iPads and phones, things like that. So we actually let the parents see what we're doing here. And we also put our league leaders or our red shed leaders on there in terms of our metrics that we're testing, like exit velocity, bat speed, things like that. You can see some trophies that Red Shed's won and some leagues that we've played in. And we got our lifting rack, our power rack. We use this a lot for our older athletes. And for myself, I need to use a little bit more, but we do have this with bumper plates that we can do some big Olympic lifts and things like that for our older kids. Again, if you look back this way, we've got basically 40 foot or 7 foot cages. They are 12 foot tall, so we get plenty of distance to see the flight path. You can notice in the cages we got a ton of equipment, balls, Tanner tees. We're now a Tanner tee dealer, so if you guys need Tanner tees, we can get those for you, and we will have some of those in stock. Walking on down, we got a parents viewing loft up top, so parents can get up there. They got a TV up there too that we can connect to show them the swings, and they can stand down there looking down at the cages, watching their son or daughter taking their lesson. Got our office here, and this is where the instructors sit. This is where we do all of our accounting and our bookkeeping for the business, and then followed by a restroom down here at the very end for all of our students and their families. You know, looking at this place, we got a few mounds in here for pitching, the new foam mounds that are real light, but you know, it's pretty wild when you look at something like this. For me, as the owner, you know, we started in a 30-foot room by 12 foot in my old pole barn, and then after some twist in the arm of my wife, she let us build a new building on the property here and continue to grow, and this really allowed us to grow our business by 150, 200%, pending we have enough instructor availability. So that's our facility. It's heated. It's year-round heated.
Thank you, Britt, for letting him build this building. It's been great.
It's year-round heated, although some instructors may think that it's not warm enough, but
it's a little chilly.
It's 60 in the winter, and the heat's all on the floor, so we don't have any noise or anything like that. It's all radiant heat, but 60 degrees in the winter, and we do train year-round. So grateful to have something like this out here locally to Fremont, Oak Harbor, Northwest Ohio area.
Now, I know you just said that, you know, you guys are now a Tanner Tee dealer. Do you guys have any other deals with any other companies to help, you know, maybe help out with the parents with payments of any type of items?
Yeah, so last year we noticed that there was a big missing part of the market in our area, so we partnered with a company called HeadBangerSports. Joe Hartman and Jordan Blasey are our reps, and those guys are just phenomenal in terms of getting back with people They get back with you right away. I got their contact info, and we can provide that. And they really, you know, I'm the Tanner guy, and some of those guys have sent Tanner T-Sales our way, but they partner with Wilson, Rawlings, DeMarini, Louisville, Easton. They just got Easton, so they can pretty much get you any bat, glove, batting gloves. They are partnered with Spiders, so they can get you those. And they're giving our, you know, we're not making anything off these guys. We told them, give our students great prices and give them great equipment, and that's what we're about out here, is helping people, you know, shed some of the financial difficulties to play baseball, softball. We understand it's expensive, and we're trying our best to keep prices as low as possible for our families out here at Red Shed.
All right. So with everything that he said today, for all the links, we will, you know, include the link for signing up to try to get lessons out here, possibly becoming an instructor. We'll give you all those links. We'll give you a link for the Tanner Tees and a link for the HeadBangerSports, so you guys can check it out. Thanks. You just covered the bases with Ashley.